What's going on, YouTube? Back here today, day 43, coming out here in the books. And what I'd like to talk about today is interviews. And so I just had an interview here in LA, not here in LA, I'm in Glendora now. I just got back from LA. Was at a law firm, the law firm of Locke, Bissell, and Liddell. And so, I just killed this interview. I murdered it, absolutely did the closest to perfect I will ever probably get an interview. Not saying won't be better at interviews, but everything just happened to go my way. The interview manager liked who I was and noticed that there was something different about me when I walked in of how I composed myself. So even from the beginning, they were interested in me. And so I want to talk about what actually went on in the interview situation. And so one of the man who interviewed me just got his master's degree from the University of Pennsylvania. He's got his undergraduate from there as well. In 2015, he graduated from his graduate program, and he was an engineer. And, so how I prepared for this interview and how I got to the point of where I just absolutely demolished it was previously I had 3 people interview me. And so I had my stepdad interview me, I had my grandpa interview me, and I had my mom's boyfriend interview me. And so I had 3 previous interview opportunities, and from there, the questions they asked me in my interviews previously and the 3 mock ones, I saw some of those similar questions. So it helps to know that I had answered those questions beforehand and I had previous knowledge to expound on the subject. So it's important to get that initial experience. That's the first point. And the second point is to really just to know knowledge. So it's something that if you want to be good at interviews, you have to prepare long amounts of time in advance. I think another thing that helped me was doing this YouTube speaking challenge. I was able to, go almost impromptu off whatever I said for my answers and make them sound good, make them flow. And so I was able to integrate my YouTube speaking challenge to help me in this. And I'll actually talk about this and how this is one of my projects. One of the questions was, what are 3 projects you've worked on? And I told them the 67-day speaking challenge, create the speech and debate club at my school, and also the Thirst project. So all these things that I'm doing, I was able to talk about it in this interview. So it's things that have built up over time that made me more valuable to who these people perceive me to be. So another thing that helped me was, and this is a long time in advance, was reading. I mentioned books. I mentioned people that I know from books that I've learned, people that, I watch. It's all this knowledge, and this goes back to, I said, the vocabulary. How you're going to create a better vocabulary is not by studying a bunch of hard words in a dictionary. It's going to come from you gaining knowledge, and that knowledge that you can spit back out is going to be your vocabulary. And so previous experience and then knowledge are 2 of the most important things. And there's also a couple things that can also give you some tips that I learned from people who would be considered master, not like high-level masters of interview, but people who have been in hundreds of interviews that I'm able to recreate. So another tip that one of these master people, this guy named David Hoff, told me, always stay neutral on politics, political events, whatever going on, or in business things. You want to stay neutral on the topic. And you also don't want to tell the interview person about things that you don't know. So if they ask you, what interests you about Pennsylvania, you don't want to go in and say this, and that. But, I was doing research and then I forgot about who I was actually talking about and say, I don't know the exact teacher. You'd want to just say that I've done research. And that there's my mom. Mom, say hi to you too.
Hi, man. Hi. Love
This
what
is
you're
my
saying,
brother
Mom.
Parker in the background there. What up, man?
What up?
and so, yeah, so those are some interview tips. Just remember that it's that initial experience. You want to get some beforehand experience to interviews, get some people to interview. There's business people that you can find around you that will help you, and then gain knowledge, make yourself interesting. You don't want to be boring. So you're going to read, you're going to be more interesting. And then remember, stay neutral, and then don't tell people that you don't know. Just say everything that you do know, and if they ask you about what you don't know, then you can say it. But anyways, those are some interview tips that helped me destroy it today. So hopefully that might help you.